What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thursday, NFL Week 3. In today's video, of course, we're going to go over every single game against the spread total, anything I think that's going on in any particular game. We're going to cover each and every game. If you guys are looking for my college football opinions, Wednesdays are my college football days. So if you want my opinion on every single game this week in college football, the video has already dropped. It came out yesterday. You can go check that out. We put Utah money line as our whiteboard winning free pick. We currently sit at 3-1 this year on my whiteboard winning free picks. If you guys are new to my channel, definitely hit the subscribe button. Definitely hit the like button as well. Appreciate that. Show a little bit of support for me doing these videos on a weekly basis. We'll update that empty space on the whiteboard in today's video with an NFL free pick. So look forward to that. And of course, at the bottom of the screen, if you guys didn't catch my college football video, this week, based on college turning into conference schedules, NFL, the kinks really get worked out in week 3. You get a lot of line value on a lot of these games. Just the way the slate is looking, I know I'm about to absolutely go off. We've had a couple of frustrating weeks, some really, really bad beats. It happens. You can't win every single time. But this week in particular, it's going to be a big one. I'm guaranteeing profit. If you guys have ever hesitated to get on my premium before, if we don't make a profit this week, free subscription. So take that for what it is. Link to my website, danspicks.net. It's right in the description of this video. You can get an entire week of my picks for about $30, $29.99. And again, if we don't make profit, you'll get the subscription for free next week. So with that being said, we got a lot of games to go over. We got a whiteboard winning free pick. The SoBet link also in the description below. You can check that out. There's a description down there below that explains what the SoBet is. But let me change the screen. Let's run through these games. I'm a little bit under the weather today. I don't know what it is, a weird virus, throat, chest congestion, whatever it is, just low on energy. So if today's video is a little choppy, I'm just trying to get through it, guys. But I'm always going to show up and get you guys the videos regardless. Let me change the screen. We'll run through these games, and maybe I'll get some extra sleep and try to get over this sickness, man. So frustrating. Hate being sick. Don't you guys feel that way? It's like every single time you get sick, it's like, wow, why don't I value like being perfectly healthy and happy more? That's just kind of the way I feel. I'm on meds right now, man. Between the cold meds and lack of sleep, I might say some really dumb shit in today's video. I'm going to use FanDuel today, guys, for this NFL slate. So let me pull that up. I'm going to refresh it. We're going to run through all the games. Thursday night. Patriots, Jets. We got to go with the Jets here. What is this Patriots love? Look, I know they've covered 2 consecutive weeks. We saw them beat the Bengals. They hung in there tough with the Seahawks. The Jets, man, it's like this is opposite land. The Patriots have overachieved. This offense is trash. We have an inexperienced coach. And the Jets, although they got the win against Tennessee, it's like you feel like they're still in the kind of sorting out stage. I mean, this team still has a lot more potential. It's in New York, Thursday night game, short week. What are we doing here? What are we doing here, sportsbooks? I'm not going to fall for the trap. I'll lay the 6.5 with the Jets. This could be a blowout. This could be an absolute blowout. And generally in the NFL, when you see a game with a low total, 38.5 total points, generally taking the underdog is the right way to go. I don't think so here. I think the total's low because I don't think the Patriots are even going to score. If they score, they're going to score 10 points or less. I like the Jets in the Thursday night game. Giants, Browns here. Same thing, 6.5 point spread. The Giants were juiced a little bit. Some money was coming on them early. Now we see Browns minus 6.5 is up to minus 120. Juiced a little bit here. We got to go Browns. We have to go Browns. The Giants team is horrendous. I don't expect them to score enough. This is going to be an ugly game. It could be a sweat to cover the number, but ultimately, I do see the Browns not being too flat in back-to-back home games. I think they figured out this week. I think the defense, of course, will show up, and I think they take care of business. I'll lay the 6.5 in both of these first 2 games. Next game down here, Bears and Colts. We're looking at a 1.5 point spread. I think it's a trap. I think the Bears are going to be a public underdog. Let me bring up the money splits here. We'll check on where the money is being bet so far. I mean, look, I get it with the Bears. Williams, he actually looked pretty good in that Texans game. I just think the Texans were half asleep. they could have buried Chicago multiple times and just kind of let them hang around. The Colts have just looked so bad, and yet they're a favorite, man. I feel like this is a trap, big time trap. We got a lot of money. It is a little bit of sharp money. The money splits do look good for Chicago. I just don't buy it. I don't think the sports books are going to hang out the Colts as a short favorite for no reason, just because of home field advantage. No, I don't buy it here. And they look so bad against the Packers, but that game was more so one of those classic situations where it's like your key player goes down and your team just rallies behind them, you know, for that first initial game with the loss. First game, home opener at Lambeau, strong trends there. I'm not gonna totally count out the Colts yet. I was on the Colts against the spread in my free pick video for week 1. I think I'm gonna be on them here, probably money line, and I'm gonna wait on this one all the way until just about game time to get a better number. I think this could even flip, and the Bears might end up a short favorite depending on the betting spreads. We'll see what happens with that one, but I do like the Colts. I just can't trust Caleb Williams coming off that Sunday night primetime game on the road in Indianapolis. Can't do it. Texans, Vikings. Look, the Vikings have overachieved. I think the Texans were kind of half asleep against the Bears. I like the Texans here, man. I get it, the situation with their center and some of the injury reports. I'm not buying into the Vikings, man. They're going to come down to earth. They've overachieved. They're a home dog at 2.5 points. They're 2-0 and they've looked great. I think that's for a reason. I'll go Texans on the money line in this one. Eagles, Saints. My gut says Eagles. My gut says Eagles. They totally squandered that Falcons game on Monday Night Football. I did have -5.5. I locked that in like way ahead of time the week prior. The A.J. Brown news come out. There's nothing I can do. I locked in the bet, set it out to the client list. There's nothing we could do about that. Should have covered anyway, man. I think the Saints look good, but they've looked incredible, and yet they're only a 2.5 home point favorite. I think I'm going to take the points with the Eagles in this one. Broncos, Buccaneers, another 6.5 point spread. This is one where the value is definitely not with the Bucs, but I still feel like it's the right side. This one's tricky. This is a pass for me, but I still would lean the Bucs in this one. You have to. You just have to lean Bucs in that one. Maybe use their money line in a parlay or maybe tease the Bucs down to a pick 'em. Green Bay and Tennessee Titans here. Another scenario where I think the line tells you everything you need to know. Packers, they rallied behind not having Jordan Love. It was at Lambeau. Defense showed up. Running game was good. Classic scenario. I was on the wrong side of that one. I was on the Colts laying the short number there. I even got a better number than what I closed at, but that's besides the point. Now they're going to Tennessee. Tennessee has looked good in both games, but for only a portion of the game. You get Malik Willis. You get the Packers on week 2 of not having Jordan Love. This is where they come down to earth. I like Tennessee here. I'll just go with the money line. I'll take the points out of it. I think Tennessee absolutely wins this game. I like this spot for Tennessee. Chargers, Steelers. I think the wrong team's favored here. I mean, the Steelers offensively, I still have huge question marks. And as good as your defense is, as good as your coaching staff is, at the end of the day, you can't win a game if you can't score enough points. I like the Chargers in this one. I'm not going to be greedy. I'm not going to go for the plus price on the money line. As in a low-scoring, ugly game like this, it could easily be a 1-point margin. 16-17 is not out of the question. I will take the 1.5 with the Chargers. Panthers, Raiders. I think we have an overrated Raiders team here. Panthers, I think, are going to get a huge boost, at least morale-wise, from just not having Bryce Young under center. I think they're going to rally behind Andy Dalton here. I'll go ahead and take the points with Carolina. I think they could win this game outright. Speaking of that, let me go ahead and add something to the screen for you guys. I gave you a long shot upset in the college football slate. NFL's a little different. We don't get crazy odds like plus 1,000. But my long shot upset for week 3 NFL is the Panthers to actually win the game outright against the Raiders. If there's this is the team that might only win 2 or 3 games the entire season. This is a pretty good spot to get one of those. Dolphins, Seahawks. This spread has come down. It's come down pretty significantly. It's still at 4.5. I mean, 5.5 and 6.5. Well, not 6.5, but 5.5 to come through the 5.5. Those are dead numbers. You rarely see a game ever end in that type of a margin. Not worried about that. I don't know, man. I don't know. Skylar Thompson, a little bit of time to prepare. Seahawks barely getting past the Patriots. Do we join in on the line movement here? Take that 4.5 at a good price with the Dolphins and what might be a field goal decided game? I probably can't do it. I think I'd still lay the points with Seattle. I think it's come down just enough to where we're going to see some buyback on the Seahawks team. That's probably a pass game for me. Lions and Cardinals, interesting game. The total was 51.5, went up to 52.5. It's back to 51.5. I don't understand that. Should be a clear over. I get the injuries and the certain statuses of these teams right now, but this should be a dead nuts over. 51.5 is too low in this game. And I think Arizona is just getting a little bit too much credit. I know they hung in there with Buffalo. They look great against the Rams. We hit them for 2.5 units against the Rams. A field goal at a -105, like a great price. I got to go Lions here. This Arizona defense is still trash. If any defense could possibly get a stop, it'll be the pass rush of the Lions. I think they could maybe get Kyler on the ground 1 or 2 times when it really counts. I think they can cover the number here. Last week was the week with that crippled Rams team to hammer on Cardinals. We did just that. This week, I think they're just slightly overvalued. I'd be leaning Detroit, maybe even Detroit on the money line if you really want to lay a big wager down. Ravens, Cowboys here for a 4:30 game. I don't know. I mean, the Ravens are horrendous. They lost so much off the roster, guys. I gave out the Chiefs as a whiteboard winning free pick in week 1. Cash with ease. -1.5 on the road in Dallas. What are we doing, man? What are we doing, sports books? Is this a trap? I get it. The 0-2 teams generally in week 3 are phenomenal to bet on. I can't do it here, man. Lamar Jackson, I don't care what anybody says. This guy doesn't have the brain to be an NFL quarterback. His brain just can't think that fast. I like Lamar. I love his attitude. He's competitive. You know, he kind of puts on that Superman cape at times. At the end of the day, this guy just doesn't have the brain, doesn't have the IQ to be an NFL quarterback. He's a running back that throws the football, and there's just no way I can lay a 1.5 on the road in Dallas. Regular season, the Cowboys have been so good at home. They're coming off an embarrassing game. This makes no sense to me. I'd be looking at Cowboys on the money line, and I hate to go against 0-2 teams in week 3. There's no way I could bet the Ravens. San Francisco, Rams, interesting game. I can't believe the line's not moving. I don't know why it's hanging out at 7.5. I thought this would be closer to a 10. San Fran's going to kill him. This Rams team's crippled. This was a blowout. I'll lay the points with San Fran. Next game. Sunday Night Football, Chiefs and Falcons. This line has come down for good reason. We got some injuries. We got some concerns on that Chiefs team. And I don't think it's I think it's warranted. I think it's warranted. I'm going to take the field goal and a half with Atlanta in this game. I think their defense can show up a little bit here. They're going to be motivated. They got some momentum going. Kirk Cousins in prime time, always a concern. The quarterback advantage undoubtedly goes to the Kansas City Chiefs in this one. The coaching advantage undoubtedly heads over to the Chiefs in this one. But you got a lot of guys on a football field at once. And I'm going to go with the overall rosters here. I think Atlanta can get that running game going. I think they're going to find a way to hang around in this game. They might win this game outright. The line's dropped. I would like it at the better numbers. I'll still go ahead and take my points with the Atlanta Falcons in this one. And then we're looking at a doubleheader here for Monday night. Forgot about that. We got Jacksonville and the Bills here. 4.5 point spread. I think I'm going to take the points with Jacksonville. Here's an 0-2 team that I want to get on. Are they going to be able to win the game and get in the win column? I don't think so. Josh Allen somehow, some way, maybe they walk this thing off with a field goal. But 4.5 just seems a bit steep. It's -105. I think the Bills will be a very, very public play. I'm going to take the points with the Jags in this one. I think they hang around and get their heart broken again, lose a close game. And we got Commanders and Bengals here, a 7.5 point spread. Again, one of the spreads where I think it should just be closer to a 10. We got the Bengals, man. They're frustrated coming off that Chiefs game. They need to get in the win column. They need to get their things right. I think they're going to have a good week of practice. And the Commanders were kind of gifted a win against the Giants. I'm not going to put a whole lot of stock into them. Even a bad Bengals defense should be able to do at least okay against the Commanders in this spot. I think the Bengals offense will do pretty good. Maybe look at a team total with them. But ultimately, if I got to look at a spread of 7.5, I know the hook in the NFL is always tempting to take with the underdog. Generally, all games are competitive. I got to lay the points here. I'm going to go Bengals minus the 7.5. Guys, my voice is shot. My throat is shot. I'm really tired. I got to take a nap. This virus is really depressing. If you guys are new to my channel, please hit the subscribe button. Drop a like on today's video. If this video gets a ton of support, you really blow this one up for me. It'll make me feel a little bit better. I hope everybody has a good weekend. And again, I might be under the weather. It might be hard to talk on a podcast episode or whatever, but it's very easy to sip water and do a lot of research. And being sick, I've spent more time on a computer, really getting dialed in on these games. I'm guaranteeing, friendly reminder, I'm guaranteeing a profit this weekend, college football, NFL combined. Get on the website, get yourself a package. We're going to just absolutely kill this weekend. I'm looking at a 10 to 15 unit profit minimum. See you in the next video.